Hello and welcome back to the FM Galaxy YouTube channel. It is Nick again. What I'm going to do today, I say today, I've actually already made a video today, but I'm just going to have another save on the go on the side, because anybody who knows me will know that I cannot stick to one save at a time. So, what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to take over the reins at my adopted Polish side, Zagłębie Lubin. A side who, as you can see, were predicted to do quite well at the start of the season with the types of players that they had in their squad. Unfortunately, the season ended in the ultimate disappointment, and they were actually relegated to the first division. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to set this game up, and then I'll go through a bit of a few details with regards to the Ekstraklasa, and hopefully people will begin to understand what is going on with regards to the league and also the squad as well. So let's wait yet again for FM to save the game for me, and then we shall progress. I did actually start a Lubin save before, back in 2012. If you have a look on here, actually, you'll probably find this. You'll probably find the video. Yeah, that kind of didn't really materialise any further than starting, to be honest. So in this instance, I'm going to look to actually progress the save a lot further on this occasion, and hopefully we should have a bit of progress under our belts come a few weeks' time. Okay, so let's get started then. So first of all, we've got the meeting with the chairman, so let's just race through this as shown in the previous video with Carlton Town. As you can see, no transfer budget. The wage budget you will find is actually very restrictive, because I believe, well, there you go, you can see up here wage budget 44.23k, and our wage budget here in total is 45k. So it doesn't really give us much room, especially when you consider, which I will show you in a second, the expenses that we're already covering. So just bear with me 2 seconds and we'll have a look into that. We'll arrange it into a squad friendly. I'm not usually keen on them, to be honest, but we'll do it for this one in particular. I must admit, despite the fact I actually agree to do these meetings, they are incredibly tedious, and I wish I didn't actually take part in them sometimes, but there we are. I think we've just got one more tab to do and then we should be all good. There we go. So, we're free to actually roam around the game now. Top half finish. I'll always go top half on this game. Let's go on to here. So as you can see, we're spending £44,075 a week on wages. Our wage budget is £44,235. The generosity of the board is amicable as ever. Right, so let's have a look at the squad then. What you'll find here is a lot of very substandard, average Ekstraklasa players. So I'm talking the likes of... where do you even bloody start? Pavel Vidanov was average. Lubomir Guldan was average. Adam Banyas was shocking. Elvedin Zinic was poor. We can skip Magdziak and Famulski because I didn't actually see them play. Lukas Piatek should have been one of the key players. In actual fact, he didn't really impose his presence enough in the midfield whatsoever. Manuel Curto, I'm not keen on. I've not actually ever seen him perform in a game that I've watched. Adrian Rakowski, again, another player I didn't see much of. I've probably seen him play twice. It's very hard to judge a team based on their performances when they've been in the bottom half for such a high percentage of the season, of course. Although maybe it's more of a fair judgment, because if they're at the bottom of the league, or around the bottom reaches of the league, you're not really going to have much choice in how you grade them, I suppose. Yuri Bielek, I'm not sure what was wrong with him. I think he's been injured for quite a while, so I can't really pass comment on him. Adrien Boad was actually impressive in the games I've seen. He's full of energy. He actually has a pretty good range of positions, to be fair to him. He can play centrally, but he's often put on wide left, as FM has rightly pointed out here. But he can play either side, mainly, of the wings or on wide midfield. David Arbour is a player that, I'm afraid, I just can't stand him. I just cannot stand him. He has pace, that's it. He literally cannot do a single thing else. If anybody watched the Puchar Polski final against Zawisza, you would have seen how poor he was. The sitter from 3 yards, it was just inexplicable. He just ran into dead ends all the time. He actually reminded me of Emile Sinclair from when he first started at Forest. Just a player who would run the channels and just get lost, just wouldn't know what to do with it. Milos Pliszewski was, to be fair, he's probably one of my favourites. He is an attacking influence, and even towards the end of the season he did actually get put up front on his own, which I found a bit strange, as he is an out-and-out winger. He did actually score in that game, though, that I've seen him play straight up front, so fair play to him. Lukas Janoszka, I think he was injured for most of the games I actually caught, to be fair, because I didn't watch much of Zagłębie during the, throughout the start to the middle stages of the season, due to obviously being busy with scouting and all that kind of thing. Alexander Kwiek. See, there's been a poll on the Zagłębie fan club website, and they've actually voted for him to be kept in the squad. There have been rumours that he'll leave following the subsequent relegation. I would actually like to see him leave. I haven't seen him do a single positive thing in the games I've seen. Johan Bertilsson, not really seen much of him. I've only seen him come off the bench, to be honest. So I can't really pass much judgment on him either. Mikhail Papadopoulos has been... I don't even have the words for that man. Well, I do, he's fucking dire, but I've not seen anybody quite as bad when it comes to leading the line as Papadopoulos. I think he's been absolutely diabolical, which probably just explains why he's not played many games towards the end of the season. Arkadiusz Wozniak's been out on loan, and Arkadiusz Piek is, well, he has been the main front man, to be honest. He's the only one that has actually looked like he could possibly score a goal. And to be fair, towards the end of the season, he didn't really look as if he could even do that. He was just completely isolated up front with very little support. To be fair, it was a team devoid of all confidence, so I'm not sure how he would probably play in a different side. He has been linked with Legia Warsaw since the season's finished, so we'll have to see if that materialises. I certainly don't expect him to play in the first division next season, put it that way. So yeah, I mean, Pavel Alexei, if we're going back to the defenders, he was loaned out to Arkadynia. Rymaniak is actually agreed a transfer today to Cracovia, I believe. So yeah, it looks as if the squad will slowly but surely fall apart, to be honest with you, which is a bit of a shame. But if you disappoint, you're a big side, to be fair, like Zagłębie are, you're going to lose your players. It's just a fact of football, really. Looking into the reserves, we've got Krzysztof Piatek, who will probably get a few games, to be fair. Same with Damian Kowalczyk. Jan Wojciechowski will probably get a few, actually, because he's quite versatile, to be fair. If I could play him in an attacking midfield role, I think he might do a bit of damage, give him a bit of experience. And then we've obviously got the players who are loaned out, who aren't, let's be honest, they're not really up to much, apart from maybe Sotinsky, who looks interesting. I wonder if we can, yeah, let's get some match reports on him. We'll see how we can track him a bit. Boris Godal, I'm not a fan, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to put him into, oh no, he's out for medical reasons, isn't he? Although he should be back for the actual season, so let's put him in the senior squad, because he's another option, isn't he, after all. Jaroslav Kubicki, I'm quite tempted to put him in. No, we'll leave him out for now. Jaroslav Jak. tipped to actually get quite a few games in real life for the for the newly relegated side, to be fair. Let's have a look into the youth team. Hubert Klajstun. Yeah, let's put him in the first team, because I've actually played him just behind the main striker Piek on another single player save I had with Zagłębie. He was absolutely excellent. He was top draw, so we would put him in there. Piotr Razikovic can go in there as well. Mateusz Jagiello. Filip Jagiello is actually a brilliant little player, so we'll put him in and develop him a little bit. I'm not scared of doing this with Lubin, to be fair, because there's so many young players that you would imagine would fit in well together, so that's not a problem as far as I'm concerned. Eric Sobkov can probably send him out on loan, actually. Get him some game. Oh, yeah, of course, the window's not open, is it yet? So we can't really do that just yet. But we've got a pretty sizable squad. Obviously, tactics going to have to be something that we consider. Let's get Azikovic extended contract. I'm not worried about giving him a long contract. I've seen how good he is on previous saves, and he is genuinely excellent. He's actually rejected my contract offers there, though, which I'm not happy about. 170. Yeah, I thought he'd go for that. So that's that bit sorted. As you can see, there's actually quite a lot of interest in our players. I'm going to get rid of Yuri Bilek. I'm not sure how much we can get for him. I'm going to ask for 350k. Whether we'll get that or not, it remains to be seen. Jagiello needs a contract, and he's accepted that, which is good. Papadopoulos. If it wasn't for the fact he's actually quite good on Football Manager, I would be getting rid of him straight away. But we'll give him a bit of security. Abwo is definitely going though. I'm not putting up with him in my squad. No chance. Vidanov. We'll keep him simply because he can play wing back, which might come in handy. Pavel Alexei will probably be our main left back. But anyway, you see what we've got going on there. Let's go through the table then. So, at the top we have Cracovia, who actually have well, the thing is, in Germany they're called friendships, in Poland they're simply called Zgolders, which is basically a friendship, but more of an agreement in Polish term. They actually have an agreement with Arkadynia, who also have an agreement that's been long-standing for at least about 25 to 30 years with Zagłębie Lubin as well. So yeah, it's one of those things really. It's quite a big thing in Poland to be connected in between, you know, different clubs. It's quite an interesting thing once you look into it, but it's also, as I know Jake, who is also in the FM Galax mob, he's quite against it, which I can see why. It is a bit strange and a bit, you know, it's not. It does seem a bit strange if you're an outsider to that thing, because in England you would never get anything like that. But yeah, just one of those things. Gornik, pretty strong side. I think they actually finished within the top 6 this season. They've got an alright little squad going on there. Nothing that stands out as amazing, apart from maybe one or two. Who have they got? Przybylski. Bartosz Ivan, I believe he's an ex-Lubin player. Maybe not. Oh no, I was thinking that because I signed him for Lubin before. Maciej Markowski is though. In fact, I might scout him, see if he'd still do a job for us. Yeah. So then we've got Jagiellonia, who Craig actually managed in our network game before I rage quitted. If you understood how bad I am at FM14, you would, yeah, you'd understand. Corona Kielce, quite a physical side this lot actually. I saw them play Zagłębie earlier this season, and it wasn't a pleasurable game to watch. It was very end to end, and to be fair, Zagłębie had the better of proceedings, but They really needed to win that game. It just didn't work out at all. Corona were just far too physical and just battled them out of the game really at important stages. Pavel Kal is actually pretty decent. Let's give him a scout because I remember signing for Arca. And then we've got Lech Poznan, who are arguably one of the two biggest clubs in Poland, certainly in terms of quality of the squad anyway. There's a number of players who have played for the national side there, and a number of players who will certainly be in the national squad in not the too distant future. Lechia Dansk, another team who are somewhat affiliated with Jake. He does like them. I don't know anyone else who does, but well, to be fair, Jake may not like them anymore. He does tend to change his teams around a little bit, but we'll leave him to sort that out with himself. Quite... how would I describe Gansk? An average team to me. Gersilchak, a bang average player. Somehow he was allowed to score against Barcelona in pre-season a year or so ago. That must have been terrible for them. Legia Warsaw, who have actually let go of probably my favourite player who was in the Ekstraklasa previously, Dominic Furman. I remember on FM13 I had him as first of all my key player in midfield for MS Val Duisburg. He actually soon became captain as well. I actually kept him for a long time and he won the Champions League with me. He has since moved on, sadly, but they do still have an incredibly talented squad there, Legia. So, not least to mention, Marek Staganowski, probably one of my favourite Poles as well. But let's move on. Piast, another bang average side, who embarrassingly managed to beat Zagłębie in one of the final games of the season. Go back. Podbeskidzie, quite a small side really. Not really rife with talent, but they've somehow managed to pull off an alright season for their standards. They also have Maciej Iwański, who is an ex-Lubin player. Pogoń Szczecin, who surprisingly did really well this season, to be fair. I don't know if they actually quite made Europe, but they were certainly on the brink. Marsan Rubak was excellent throughout the season, scoring plenty. Adam Frachak tends to be a thorn in my side when I play Craig. On the network game he scored quite a few throughout the season, and he also scored against me, I believe. He just seems to score goals. Like, you just watch him on all of Craig's games and he just scores. It's just mad. He just scores goals in every single game he plays. I just can't understand it. But let's move on again. So now we're down to Łukaczów. Again, well, probably one of the most renowned mental teams, to be fair. Their fans are pretty raucous, to be fair to them, but very impressive, it must be said. They are, I'm not a fan of the P word, but they are a very passionate bunch. Certainly get behind their team at every opportunity, and they're not a bad side either, and they did gift Arek Piek to Lubin too, so we can't knock them too much. Śląsk Wrocław, or Wrocław, sorry. No, I got that completely wrong. Śląsk Wrocław, that's correct. And now a lot of people actually refer to these as, well, a lot of people see Wrocław as Wrocław, which I can confirm is absolutely incorrect. Says me, who actually just pronounced the name wrong 2 or 3 times, but yeah, it's Wrocław, believe me. Anyway, then we got Widzew Łódź. I've got to be honest, I do prefer LKS a lot more. But another team who, well, were destined to finish bottom until Lubin's Ultras decided to basically throw their pyro all over the pitch at the end of the 3-3 draw between the two sides. Thus rendering the game as an automatic win to Vudge, and well, Lubin basically finished bottom subsequently, so the fans didn't really help there, but you can understand their frustration after they were tipped to finish at least around 6th or 7th, at least. You've got to consider as well that they did actually win the league in 2007, so, you know, it's just bonkers. The Ekstraklasa just works so strangely. But yeah, we'll move on. So, Wisła Kraków. Obviously, if you think of Poland, you're probably going to think of Wisła straight away. They obviously have a very, very strong rivalry with Cracovia. This city is literally divided. And, well, if you have one game you need to go to before you die, you probably need to do Wisła against Cracovia, because the atmosphere is absolutely bonkers. I have been invited by a friend to actually go to a Wisła game next August, so we'll see how that materialises. I'm actually looking to do Zagłębie Lubin at some point next season, so that's the priority. But yeah, Wisła would be a hell of an experience. And then we have Zawisza, who are another team who have a friendship with Zagłębie Lubin. They actually beat them in the final of the Puchar Polski on penalties, actually. It was a pretty even game, to be honest, a very poor standard game as well, but just how things go, I suppose, sometimes. But that's a kind of a start, so at least you have a little bit of a background with regards to the clubs. I've got to be honest with you, I am very targeted around Zagłębie Lubin. Like, if you ask me a question about them, I could probably give you the answer to it. But if you ask me anything else with regards to other teams, I am somewhat limited, which is something I'm going to look to rectify next season, even if Lubin aren't in the Ekstraklasa. But yeah, it's certainly something I'm going to look into and keep a track of, because I just find it interesting. Like, a lot of people kind of look over to Germany and just think, oh yeah, I'll follow foreign football, it's going to be fun. It's like, you know, it's just something interesting and different. It's not that interesting and different. It's Germany. Everybody started floating over there. Obviously, I don't want to come across as a hipster, because I'm absolutely not. But when it comes to football, I do like to look into the somewhat unknown. I just find Eastern European football interesting, Central and Eastern European football. And Poland was just an automatic interest, really. I've always liked Lubin, as you could tell from the 2012 save I actually made, but yeah, hopefully we can actually stick at this save and we'll see if it goes anywhere, and we can look to get some success from it. For anyone who's interested in the actual database, I have actually expanded it, so we get the first division, the second division, and the third division, so there's plenty of opportunity to sign different players that a lot of us may not have heard of, but yeah, it's all good fun, so hopefully we can enjoy the save here. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to bark on about tactics in this particular video, that'll be done in the next one, so I obviously need to have a look and see what I can do with regards to the squad, because I do need to sell if I want to buy, by the looks of it, because the board aren't going to give me any leeway at all. Unless, what the finance is like, 6 million, we're probably going to get up to around the 10 million mark, so they might give me a bit of leeway on that. We'll have to sell a couple of players and see what they say. But yeah, I'm going to look into sorting the squad out, because although it is very versatile, we've got players who can pretty much suit any system. I do want to stamp my own authority on the team. So yeah, that'll be it for this one, but I'll be back very soon with the next instalment of the Zagłębie Lubin save, and hopefully you can join me for it, and we can progress it along with the Carlton save, so they bounce off each other and I don't get too bored, because my attention span is very shit, really. Anyway, I'll get on, and hopefully you'll join me for the next one. Thank you very much.